Willie Nelson finally names the 10 singers he hated the most. Willie Nelson is America's beloved outlaw poet, weed advocate, and musical icon. But what if I told you that behind the mellow voice and signature braids lies a trail of grudges, rivalries, and a few surprise clashes that even die-hard fans never saw coming? From country legends to unexpected pop stars, today we're diving into the shocking list of singers that Willie Nelson secretly couldn't stand, and the stories behind those legendary fallouts. Some called it artistic tension, others, downright betrayal. Before we dig in, don't forget to hit that like button, share this with your fellow music lovers, and subscribe for more wild stories behind the stars. Your support keeps the music playing. Hank Williams Jr., Tradition versus Rebellion. In the world of country music, Hank Williams Jr. stood tall as a defender of tradition, while Willie Nelson became the face of rebellion. Their feud wasn't about notes and lyrics, it was a clash of identities and cultural philosophy. Hank Jr. couldn't stomach Willie's hippie-look bandanas and open support for marijuana. To him, country music was sacred, about discipline, heritage, and clean-cut values. Willie? He was out there, long-haired and unapologetic, playing guitar on his own terms and singing about freedom in ways that ruffled traditional feathers. Though their disagreement was never explosive, the tension was real. Hank Jr. criticized Nelson's appearance and the lifestyle he symbolized. Willie, ever the philosopher, just smiled and said, "We all walk our own path." In many ways, their Cold War of ideologies represented a broader tension in America itself. It was a cultural showdown, the Old South versus a new kind of cowboy. Fans took sides, and country music was never the same. Glen Campbell, jealous of the outlaw? Glen Campbell, the voice behind Rhinestone Cowboy, lived the polished life. TV shows, clean suits, mainstream appeal. But when Willie Nelson's outlaw country exploded in popularity, Campbell felt left in the dust. Willie's messy hair and anti-establishment vibe were winning over fans and critics alike. Suddenly, the clean-cut country gentlemen like Campbell were seen as outdated. He never publicly trashed Willie, but in interviews Glen hinted that image was trumping talent. The message was clear. Willie's authenticity was stealing the spotlight, and Campbell wasn't a fan. Though they kept it civil, the air between them stayed cool. Behind those country smiles, the rivalry simmered in silence. Julio Iglesias, the silent snub. In 1984, Willie and Latin crooner Julio Iglesias created magic with "To All the Girls I've Loved Before." It was a global hit, a musical bridge between two cultures. But not long after, things took a cold turn. At a public event, Julio reportedly brushed Willie off in front of the press. No handshake, no eye contact, nothing. Nelson, known for his respect and humility, took it as a slap in the face. Though he never exploded publicly, Willie later admitted the moment left a bad taste in his mouth. And guess what? They never collaborated again. It wasn't war, just a quiet end to what could have been a beautiful musical friendship. Neil Young, Guitar Shade. Neil Young and Willie Nelson were both rebels, poetic, soulful, and always marching to their own beat. But when Young casually dismissed Willie's guitar playing as simplistic, the music world gasped. Nelson wasn't a technical wizard, sure, but his battered Martin guitar, trigger, and his jazz-infused style were part of his soul. Willie didn't fire back. Instead, he said, "I play from the heart. If it sounds good to me, that's enough." Pure Willie. The moment didn't turn into a full-blown feud, but fans never forgot it. Even among icons, respect can get lost in translation. Whan Jennings, brothers who bickered. Willie and Whan weren't enemies, they were brothers. But like any intense friendship, theirs came with fireworks. From the start, they were opposites. Willie the Zen outlaw, Whan the hot-headed rebel. They argued over business, music, and life, sometimes loud, sometimes silent. But underneath the bickering was love. Their collaborations, like "Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys," became outlaw anthems. They disagreed, but they never disconnected. Willie once said their friendship was like an old married couple, full of arguments but never broken. Ray Price, the Rooster incident. Now here's a feud that sounds like a country song. Willie Nelson versus a rooster. Yes, you heard that right, a rooster. But as funny as it sounds, the incident tested a decades-long friendship built on loyalty, mentorship, and shared history. Ray Price, one of Willie's early mentors, owned a rooster that turned aggressive, killing hens and wreaking havoc on the property. Price's wife, fed up with the chaos, begged Willie to handle it. And he did. With a shotgun. Ray was furious. That rooster was more than livestock. It was a pet, a part of the family, and maybe even a symbol of pride for Price. In a rage, he vowed never to sing another Nelson song. Willie's reply? Classic. "You should have stepped in after the first hen got killed." His deadpan delivery made headlines. Eventually, they patched things up, proving that even death by rooster can't break real musical bonds. And years later, Nelson would record a tribute album to Price, calling it one of the most heartfelt projects of his career. The rooster incident became a strange yet oddly fitting chapter in their friendship. Ed Sheeran, cross-generational controversy. Yes, you read that right. Willie Nelson versus Ed Sheeran. The feud sparked when Sheeran released a track eerily similar to one of Willie's unreleased demos, both themed around aging, heartbreak, and the road. Willie's camp cried foul. Sheeran denied it all, saying any similarities were pure coincidence. But whispers in the industry suggested Sheeran may have heard Nelson's demo through industry connections. Things got heated. Legal threats flew. But in a surprising turn, the two met privately and resolved the issue face to face. They released a joint statement, and the matter quietly died. No courtrooms, just conversation, and a reminder that sometimes peace sells better than war. Merle Haggard, a bond built on honesty. Willie and Merle Haggard shared a rare friendship, rooted in honesty, not perfection. Though rumors of creative tension floated around, they never turned toxic. From Pancho and Lefty to Django and Jimmy, their music echoed deep respect. Merle once called Willie's song "The Party's Over" a masterpiece. They may have disagreed at times, but never let ego get in the way. When Merle passed in 2016, Willie mourned a friend, not a rival. Their legacy? Not drama, but harmony. The IRS. Willie's biggest feud. Okay, this isn't a musical rivalry, but it's the most infamous fight of Willie Nelson's career, and possibly one of the most legendary IRS stories in entertainment history. In 1990, the IRS hit him with a $16.7 million tax bill after years of bad financial advice and risky investments gone wrong. They seized nearly everything: his ranch, his studio, his bank accounts, and even his beloved guitar, Trigger, although fans stepped in to help save that one. But Willie didn't crumble. He fought back the only way he knew how, through music and grit. He released the IRS tapes, Who'll Buy My Memories, a stripped-down acoustic double album recorded specifically to raise money to pay off his debt. He also embarked on non-stop tours and leaned on his fiercely loyal fan base. Fans lined up to support him, buying the album and rallying behind his comeback. Eventually, a settlement was reached that cut his debt nearly in half. Willie didn't just beat the IRS, he turned the ordeal into a redemption arc. It turned a financial nightmare into a comeback story, and made his outlaw image even stronger. Today, it remains a shining example of how Nelson took a hit and turned it into harmony. Johnny Cash, A Promise Broken. Willie and Johnny Cash were legends, rebels, and close friends. But even they had a hiccup. In the 80s, Cash believed Willie had promised him a song, only to see Nelson release it himself. Cash felt betrayed. They stopped speaking for a while. But legends don't hold grudges forever. They cleared the air and joined forces again as part of the Highwaymen supergroup alongside Waylon and Chris Christopherson. Until Johnny's passing in 2003, their bond stayed strong, proof that even broken promises can be forgiven when friendship runs deep. From wild roosters to outlaw image wars, Willie Nelson's career has been filled with highs, lows, and a few legendary cold shoulders. Yet through it all, he's remained true to himself. Calm, real, and unapologetically Willie. Which feud surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into music history, do us a favor. Like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more behind-the-scenes stories of the stars you love. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay legendary.